Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a first impression and review on the brand new foundation from Tarte. This is the Empowered Hybrid Gel Foundation. By the way, if you're wondering why I look a little bit different in the following clips, because I filmed this intro a few days after actually filming the original video because I actually forgot to film an intro. That is why things may look a little bit different if you're a little bit confused. So I really hope you guys enjoy this first impression and review, and let's get right into it. Okay, so let's first get all the basics out of the way. So this foundation retails for $39 US or $51 Canadian, so it is definitely a pricier foundation. There's no doubting that. There are also 10 shades in this collection. I got the shade Light Sand, which is the second lightest shade. As far as the claims for this foundation, it basically says very simply, it is a poreless, full coverage gel foundation with skin smoothing hyaluronic acid. Now I also picked up the brush that is supposed to be used with this product. The reason why I have air quotations is because I very rarely pick up tools that are supposed to be used with a specific foundation, because most of the time you can use a foundation brush that you probably already have, but I figured why not do the first impression with the tool that it is supposed to be used with. So it's literally just a buffing brush on one side that's pretty tightly packed and pretty dense, and then you have a spatula on the other side, because this is like a foundation that is in a tub. It's not a squeeze tube or anything like that, or a pump, so this I guess does come in handy. The actual brush does feel nice and soft. It's very similar to something like the Sigma buffing brush. I would just say that this one is just a little bit larger. So this is what the foundation actually looks like. It has a gold top with a frosted bottle. I honestly have never tried a foundation that has this type of texture. It almost looks like a whipped gel texture, so I'm really interested and excited to try this out. The only thing that I have to say about this type of packaging is that it's not the most hygienic, especially if you're going to be dipping your fingers in here and you're not really going to be using a spatula. I feel like that could get some bacteria in here and it could cause some problems. Now this foundation doesn't really specify what specific skin type it's for, but I do have very dry and sensitive skin, so it will be really interesting to see if it's going to like attach to any dry patches on my face, because I do have a few on my chin and on my nose. As usual, those things like never go away. Okay, so let's begin. So I'm taking like the spatula side of the brush and I'm just going to put that on the back of my hand. You could also use a palette if you'd like. Ooh, I really like the consistency of it. It feels very like whipped. Like it reminds me of a thick whipped cream. That's like the best way to describe it. Oh my God, I took out a lot of product. Okay, so now I'm gonna take the brush and I'm just going to start to blend this into my skin. So the color definitely matches me really nicely. I basically guessed it online, so that's always nice. Whoa, it's really full coverage. Holy crap. And it's blending out really nicely as well. As far as the brush, it blends out the product really nicely. But like I said, I really don't think this is very different from any other buffing brush that I already have. Okay, so as far as my first impressions go, this is a very full coverage foundation. Like just the small amount that I used really covered up my whole entire face and got rid of literally all of the redness that I have. As far as the actual finish of it, I do really love what the finish looks like. It has a very beautiful dewy finish. It's definitely not a matte finish whatsoever. It feels really nice and hydrating on the skin. It doesn't feel like it's drying out my skin or anything of that nature. It just gives my skin a really pretty, like healthy looking finish while still giving me a very full coverage. So I'm just going to take a little bit more of the foundation and I'm just going to dot this around my cheek and chin area to see if that builds up. Okay, so I'm gonna actually take my sponge instead of the brush and just pat that into my skin. And it does seem to build up nicely and it doesn't look like it's caking up or anything. So it's been a few minutes since applying it and it does feel sticky on my skin still. It doesn't really feel like it's set down. So I definitely feel like this is foundation that you have to set with powder, because otherwise it's definitely going to transfer. So now that we are nice and close up, this is what my skin looks like. Hopefully you guys can get a good idea of what the foundation looks like on the skin. So now I'm just gonna go off camera and apply the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back and let you guys know what I think after applying all of my makeup. All right, so I just finished applying all of my makeup, so let's see how the foundation looks. It doesn't look like you're not wearing any makeup. It's not like a no makeup type of foundation. It looks like you're wearing makeup, but it makes my skin look really nice. So I do really like that. So I guess we'll just see how it wears for the rest of the day. Right now the time is 12:45, so I'll check in probably about 2 hours, and then I'll probably do my final check-in after that, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts on the product. So I will see you then.
Okay guys, so it is now 2:30, which means about 2 hours have passed. I literally have just been sitting at my computer editing, so I really haven't been exerting myself or really doing any physical activity, so the foundation really shouldn't have changed very much, and it hasn't. Ooh, oh, okay. The foundation actually looks really good. I really, really like it. My skin looks very, very, very dewy. I feel like it's faded a little bit on my chin where I have a little bit of a dry patch there, but really not anything significant. So I'm also going to do a flash test to see if this has any flashback. There really shouldn't be, considering there's no SPF, but we will still test that out. So I'm gonna do that right now. There is no flashback, so everything's looking good. And now that it's not so bright outside, because I am filming this in front of a window, let's give you guys a nice little close-up of what my skin is looking like. It looks really good. I'm really impressed so far. So I'm just going to wear this for a few more hours and then I'll do my final check-in.
All right guys, so now it is time for the final verdict. It is just about to hit 5:30 p.m. So I have had this foundation on for about 5 hours and I think I've got a pretty solid idea of what I think about this foundation. So here is what my skin looks like up close. This is after 5 hours of wear. It looks pretty good. My makeup hasn't faded on top of the foundation. Everything is still in place and yeah, honestly, really not much has changed. So one of the main claims that the foundation had was that it was supposed to make your skin look poreless. So I was expecting my skin to look basically like a porcelain doll. I actually find that my pores are pretty accentuated, especially in this area over here. Keep in mind, I didn't really use a primer or a pore minimizing primer. Maybe if I would have used a primer, that wouldn't have happened. But I feel like for a foundation that claims to have a poreless look, I shouldn't really be having these issues. For a full coverage foundation, it doesn't look cakey or look like I'm wearing a ton of makeup, but it definitely still covers up everything that needs to be covered. And I also find that it didn't fade anywhere. Like my redness is not peeking through anywhere on my skin. It feels really, really nice and hydrating on the skin. Like I really, really feel the hydration. It still feels a little bit tacky on my skin. It doesn't feel like it completely set down. So that's why I feel like if you did have oily skin, this would probably slip and slide a little bit because it doesn't really feel like it's like suction cup to my face, if you know what I mean. I would recommend this foundation for anybody who has normal to dry skin, who wants more of a dewy full coverage look. So as for the packaging, I really don't like the packaging. It is very, very, very messy. I've only used this once and the foundation has already sort of seeped onto the sides of the foundation, which I'm obviously not a fan of. I wish this was in sort of a easier, more portable type of packaging, even though it is gorgeous and definitely looks good on the vanity. Would I recommend this foundation brush? Do I think it's a bad foundation brush? No, not at all, but I feel like if you already have a buffer brush, then I don't think it's necessary to get this just for the foundation. But if you don't have a buffer brush and you want one that has a little spatula on the other end of it, then this is a nice brush to get. So that's it for my first impression and review of the Tarte Empowered Hybrid Gel Foundation. I really hope you guys enjoyed this first impression and found it helpful. Don't forget to let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Are you gonna pick up this foundation? What do you think of it? Have you tried it? If you have, let me know your thoughts for sure. Also, let me know what other first impressions you would like to see from me. I love doing these. I think they're so much fun. I love being your own personal guinea pig. Don't forget to click that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and click that like button if you'd like to see more videos like this. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.